welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on Tuesday night, and as always, that means we're going back into Battle World. Tonight is going to be a very interesting one that we came up with on the fly. Kill came up with this on the fly, the actual fly, last week when we were celebrating our 50 episodes of this particular series. So I'm excited about this one, guys. Kill, Eric, and Corey. Hopefully you guys are ready for this tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, in the chat, just to say hey to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate that as always. We got Russell in the house. What's up, Russell? Good to see you.
Oh, nice.
We got the general in the house.
There
What's
she
up,
is.
Val? Good to see you, Val. Hope you're doing well. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but it's great to have you here tonight. Seriously. We got Paula in the chat. We got DJ in the chat. All right.
Hello.
Wayne says, "Damn, I have seen neither of these movies." Really? Wow.
Ooh.
That's got to be
Get
a
on it.
first.
Get on
Wayne,
it.
you gotta check these movies out, guys. Come on. That's why we put this up a few days in advance so you guys could check them out and then talk with us about it. But yeah, these are good ones, Wayne. Check them out. Nathan, what's up, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right. Let's see. Doom Turkey, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see. Who else do we have? We got Danielle in the house. What's up, Danielle? Good
Danielle.
to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. And we got my man, our brother, Steven from
hey.
Hey.
Hey, Steven.
Hey, hope you're doing well, man. Saying
Yeah.
hope you're all doing great. Yeah, man. We're ready to rock and roll. Glad to
Yeah.
have you here, man.
Man, good to see you,
Yeah.
Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Sending love.
That's right. And he's making a great point, which is so true. And you know, we love the old school here, saying the original House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price is fantastic. One of my favorite classic horror movies. So true, man. The late, great, legendary Vincent Price. I mean, need I say more?
I think he was in the original 13
Yeah, we
Ghosts,
should have done
too.
that one.
We should have done that one. Well, we figured because these are both remakes that it works out pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll do the classics at some point. Who knows? And Val, thank you so much putting the link in for our Patreon. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Seriously. Let's see. And speaking of Val, she's got a channel member anniversary. And check this out, guys. 25 months.
Holy
Is
crap.
that crazy?
Good for you.
Absolutely crazy. Val, thank you so much. Seriously.
Yeah, Willie Winnie.
You know, the level of support and friendship and kindness and generosity, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Yep.
I can't even put it into words. I really can't. And to think that you came into this community, which stretches, you know, multiple channels and dozens and tons of people, and to think that you came into the community just checking out, you know, one of our vids late at night, and then just thinking, hey, I think I'm gonna, you know, check some more out, and then look where we've gotten. It's so cool, and it's such a great example of how that can happen by chance. And you know, we're just so thankful that you took a chance on us. So
That's how you got
awesome.
stuck with me.
Oh, stop.
You know we love you, man. Oh, you're the best.
Man.
Val saying, been an amazing time watching you three grow as creators of this community and this community grow. Love y'all to the moon and back. Hashtag ride or die. Hashtag stuck with me now. That's
Well
awesome.
said.
It is well said. You're awesome, Val. Hey, we got Mayan in the chat too. What's up, Mayan?
Hey.
Nice.
Hope you're doing well. Thank you for hanging out with us. We know it's been busy. You were telling me it's been a busy summer, but that's awesome. Glad you and the fam are doing well. Thank you so much for jumping in here. Jean's with us, of course. Very cool to have Jean always hanging out with us, always being awesome in the chat. We really appreciate that stuff, guys. Seriously, we pay attention to it, and it doesn't go unnoticed, and it doesn't go unappreciated. All right. And Gina, of course. Gina is here. What's up?
Hey, nice.
All right. Hey, we got January in the house too. What's up? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Very cool. And absolutely, January saying happy holidays for those who celebrate. Absolutely. Happy holiday to all of you guys.
Thank you.
And look at this. Look who else has a channel member anniversary. This stuff, it really does warm my heart. But of course, it's like our brother Steven. 19
All right.
months,
Good for you.
19 months, man.
Wow.
Brother, there's no words. There's just no words. Thank
I
you so
still
much.
remember our first stream that we did together.
Yes. Do you
know?
remember when we did Scream on a Sunday?
Yeah.
And we went through the franchise, and it was so much
Sure
fun.
do.
I remember Steven watching Sleepaway Camp 2 with you guys, and that was a good experience.
Oh my God.
I think what was Society was the other one.
Yes,
and
Society. Yeah.
There's like a handful that are like, you got to check it out if you haven't.
And you're still friends after that. Look at that.
I know. Well, same with you, man. We've taken you on a couple different rides, and you're still like, oh, I'll hang out with these guys. They're all right.
Why not?
Yeah.
If movies would break a friendship, I'm sorry, but that's lame. Come on.
I don't know. Society's pushing it. Society
it's just a movie. It's just a movie, though. Come on.
Yeah. Steven said Sleepaway Camp 2. No. There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Let's get down to brass tacks. Tonight is going to be interesting. So, Eric, how about we have you let us know who's in corner number 1 for tonight's event?
All right. Well, we all know it's hard making ends meet nowadays, and sometimes we need to do things that we don't want to do to make some quick cash. We might have to sell things we own that we don't want to. We all have, might have to work a job at ungodly hours that we don't do, or we may have to suck it up and ask friends or family for a small loan. But would you ever think of spending the night in the house with a bunch of strangers for $1 million? It sounds too easy and too good to be true. And of course that it is, because this home that you have to spend the night used to be a place of pain. The souls of tortured, criminally insane patients haunt this house, and no one who stepped foot in it has survived. And if the souls of the patients don't get you, just wait till the darkness shows up. So take heed when you're told to stick together. Don't believe everything you see. And if the owner of the house himself is willing to turn down $1 million to get the fuck out of there, get a clue. It's going to be a rough night surviving the house on Haunted Hill.
All right. Okay, that was good, man. Coriander, how about you? Who we have in the second corner?
Sometimes life can be surprising. If you find out that your late rich uncle has left you a huge puzzle house with glass walls that have Latin spells on them, awesome. And what you weren't told by his slimy lawyer is that you're going to have to deal with spirits that represent the Black Zodiac. You better hope that power guy Dennis can help you out before one of his seizures takes him out completely. And I mean, he does have experience with ghost faces. Don't take a bath because an angry princess is still pissed about the choice she made. Don't taunt the guy with railroad spikes in his head, because if you do, he'll hammer you. Watch out for the kid who lost a game of chicken with the bow and arrow. You get the point. And you gotta get your family out of this house. And don't take all day with your monk-like OCD, or else you'll fall victim to the 13th ghosts.
Very good.
That was good. It's time for Kill's commentary. Kill, you came up with this idea. Tell me what we got.
I love these movies, and money motivates everything. Both of these movies, man. A giant house with antiques or $1 million check. Both houses have multiple ghosts, and both of them you're stuck in them. So these are, these are throwbacks to the late 90s, early 2000s, some of those like hidden gems, and those one-offs. And I am so excited for this one. Two really good ones.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you're right. Late 90s, early 2000s, it's sometimes easy to forget that there were some good horror movies at that time that was not named Final Destination or Saw or Paranormal Activity, right? And I'm saying that for myself as well, man. This might have opened up Pandora's box to kind of revisit and kind of reconnect with some of these films. So thank you so much for that, brother. But do you hear it, buddy? Do you hear it?
Ghosts floating through hallways?
Ghosts floating, little boys with arrows in their heads, a darkness that got out. I mean, I hear it all, brother, and a bunch of checks hanging around. So it looks like we're ready to start this thing. For you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax as we head into House on Haunted Hill versus 13 Ghosts. You know what time it is.
Just made. Look at these names.
Yeah, Mom would have freaked over this.
Funky old house, ain't it?
From here on, it gets really scary. God! I hate it when they do that!
Yeah.
All right, man. All
I
right.
like it.
Thanks, man. These movies are all right, man. They're all right. Real quick too, we got some other folks jumping in. Of course, Steven's like, Matthew Lillard, baby, let's go. There you go, man. I was waiting to see it. I was waiting
I
to
was
see
too.
it. Oh my
God
god.
bless you, Stephen.
Yes, yes. Functioning drunk in the house. What's up?
Dennis.
What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for jumping in. We got Trickster in the house too. And May has asked a question. Did everyone hit the like button? And I hope you guys will. Thank you so much, May. We got David in the house too, saying been waiting on this one. Hey, well, thank you so much.
Nice.
We're excited about that because again, we're doing these obviously because we're so invested in these conversations and debates, but we also want you guys to have fun too, and that's part of why we are still doing this, man. So as always, we're going to go category by category. We're going to give the point to the film that we think deserves it, not based on our bias, but based on the truth. You guys in the chat, let us know what you think as well. We'll try to get to as many comments as possible. We won't get to everyone though. But if you send in a super chat, first of all, thank you. We appreciate that. But we'll make sure to get to your comment and or question, and you can put those points to the film of your choice. So Kill, let's start this thing off, man. We're going to start with the poster, as we always do. We got the poster for House on Haunted Hill, and we also have the poster for 13 Ghosts. Who gets the point and why, bro?
I like the poster for 13 Ghosts. It's just so much going on in it. You know, you can see, a bunch of the faces of victims and also the other ghost. And it's just, I believe that's Shannon Elizabeth's face.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like her. Yeah.
Yep.
And I love the lettering in the mouth and so forth. And it just, I don't know, it intrigues me a lot more than the other one. The other one kind of has that typical, 90s, early 2000 vibe. We're gonna have all the young Hollywood stars on the cover, and it's just kind of like, all right, what are you looking at? Is it a giant red hand? What does that red hand have to do with the movie? I don't know. A bloody hand? I don't know. They're foaming lime. I don't know. But yeah, I got to go with 13 Ghosts on this one.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with 13 Ghosts as well. It kind of like me and Kill have both said it. It's kind of like the Rob Zombie Halloween poster. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have little bits and pieces of the film in the poster itself, and you're wondering how does it all add up?
Yeah.
I also like the title In the Mouth. You know what I mean? So I think it's very intriguing. It's kind of uncomfortable to look at. At times. But I will give credit where credit's due. I usually don't like floating heads posters. I think House on Haunted Hill is decent for one, just the way they're kind of shoved into the bloody hand and the way the title card is type of thing in the corner. But I got to go with 13 Ghosts.
All right. Okay. Corey Ender, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, that House on Haunted Hill one's kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of over this whole, pictures of everybody, just like they got to think of something new, and I get it. It was in the time when they were doing all this with every movie,
Right.
but
Hmm.
damn. And yeah, so I guess I have to give it to 13 Ghosts. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not crazy about that one either, but it's better than the
Ooh.
other one.
Okay. I think to echo what you guys were saying, I think, House on Haunted Hill, yeah, it's a product of its time, but I do appreciate the idea that it's got, the redness to it, with the hand and also the
Hmm.
pictures. So at least they were doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a little bit of creativity with that, and it kind of makes you curious because you're like, well, what does that hand have to do anything? And I also agree that the font for the title and the way that it's written, it's really cool. I
Hmm.
think this is a pretty good poster. That being said, it doesn't beat 13 Ghosts for me because I think 13 Ghosts, like you said, there's these little bits of the image in Shannon Elizabeth's face. It looks really, really interesting. The coloring of it and where they put the title right there. It's just really, it's a cool poster. This is actually a poster I kind of had forgotten about. And I actually dig it. I really, really do. And also the way that they write 13, with the 1 and the 3 in there. It's kind of cool, man. I dig it. So definitely got to give the point to 13 Ghosts. All right. Let's see. In the chat, we got folks, Danielle going with 13 Ghosts, Super Tenor in the house going with 13 Ghosts, Russell is going with 13 Ghosts. Paul is saying 13 Ghosts looks a little more freaky. There you go. May saying both of these movies are so entertaining. They are. They really, really are. Both of them are, no doubt. Steven's going with 13 Ghosts. Wins the poster for me. All right. Trickster going with 13 Ghosts. And May going with 13 Ghosts as well. All right. Wow. Looks like we got a little bit of a landslide there.
Yeah. That doesn't happen often.
It doesn't. It's so
Especially
true.
on the poster question.
I know. It's like, wow, where's this gonna go? All right. Next up, Kill. We're gonna go with the tagline for the films, and this is going to be maybe the easiest tagline category of all time in the history of Battle World, which of course we're only just over 50 episodes. Okay, the tagline for 13 Ghosts is "Misery Loves Company."
Okay.
The tagline for House on Haunted Hill is "Evil Loves to Party." Who gets the point?
13 Ghosts. Misery Loves Company. I mean, it's right there in the explanation, and obviously, once you see the trailer, you understand kind of the Misery and Company. The whole was it evil likes to party?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's kind of punish. Come on. Yeah, 13 Ghosts for me.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, 13 Ghosts. I like how Misery Loves Company. That kind of adds to the number 13 as well. You know what I mean? It adds to the
Yeah.
number factor. I don't like the House on Haunted Hill. Evil Loves the Party. I'm sorry, that's just stupid. Like the party, like what? It's a rave.
yeah.
It's a high school party, birthday party. What is it? It's whoever wrote that should be fired. You know
Lame.
what I mean? If they haven't been already.
Right. All right. Coriander, how about you?
I think you know the answer.
Okay. Well, you could have just said it. All right. So you're going with 13
I thought I
Ghosts.
did.
Okay. All right.
You want to acknowledge it.
For me, I agree with you guys. The 13 Ghosts, even though both of them are short and sweet, the one for House on Haunted Hill, it just doesn't really do anything. You know what I'm saying? But at
It's more
least
sour than sweet.
exactly. But at least with 13 Ghosts, even though it's kind of short and it's not necessarily special, but it kind of hits home what you need, saying Misery Loves Company. And of course, when you pair it with the poster, it's making me think, oh wow, is someone getting trapped with the ghosts? And of course, that is part of what the movie is about. So definitely 13 Ghosts. All right. Steven also going with 13 Ghosts. Super Tenor going with 13 Ghosts. Trickster going with 13 Ghosts. Danielle saying 13 Ghosts just cause, but both are simple. They really are. Yeah. May's going with 13 Ghosts. Paula's going with 13 Ghosts. All right.
Man.
And Steven, you're all right, man. He says 25 likes, everyone. And he says, have you clicked the like button yet? I like that. We might have to start using that. That was great. All right. Let's go to our next category, kill. The opening of the films, which is always the first couple minutes, could even be up to like 15 minutes or so. Who do you think it's the point for this?
See, this is tough because both of them open up with tragedy, but one opens with tragedy, but also does something a little different. It's the most evil version of Ghostbusters I've ever seen. I'm going with 13 Ghosts because you see giant semi trucks coming in. You're in a junkyard. You're hearing people say, put the bait out. The giant trucks are spraying blood everywhere. You got a Hellraiser cube, you know. It's like they're doing Shark Week to get a goddamn ghost. And like, whoa, I've never seen this before. No proton packs. It's just wow. This
no Bobby Brown.
No Bobby Brown. But yeah, you get the ghost, but the ghost gets half of your team. Like, I mean, bodies being crushed into cars. I mean, it's like, you know, Freddy in the scene where he's like, you know, fighting killing people in the junkyard or whatnot.
Yeah.
It was different, and that showed me, okay, this film is doing something a little different. I'm here for the ride, so I'm going with 13 Ghosts.
All right, okay. Eric, how about you?
Yeah, they're both really good for their own reasons. I do like House on Haunted Hill, kind of setting the tone for the backstory and how brutal of a character the doctor that Jeffrey Combs played. You know what I mean? Because we need that backstory. But Kill pretty much said it. 13. We're going 13 Ghosts, just because. And if he wasn't going to say it, I was getting Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Master vibes with Kincaid in the junkyard.
Yeah,
but
Freddy's
what
back.
What I really liked is I liked how you got a little bit of Matthew Lillard's character. Like, he was there kind of against his will. He was there because you paid him, but he didn't want to be, and he's helping the audience know that this is going to be a big, dangerous situation before we even see the ghost. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that ghost looks cool as hell, crushing people in half, doing what he's got to do. No one survives, you know, even though we get one of them's a fake out. But it was a lot of fun, you know, and that's what intrigued me. This was really fun. So I'm going 13 Ghosts.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to go with 13 Ghosts also.
Okay. All right. For me, this, you know, it's challenging though, because, you know, I remember seeing House on Haunted Hill in the theater, and, you know, when it starts off, and like you were saying, Eric, when it starts off and it's showing the legendary Jeffrey Combs playing this Dr. Vonnegut, and of course the asylum vibe, and that's always creepy if done right. That was a great beginning, man.
Yeah.
And then the fake out with our boy Jeffrey Rush. I mean, it's like, you know, it was some fun stuff going on with House on Haunted Hill. But and this is really close, but I do think I have to also lean to 13 Ghosts on this because of the fact, like you guys were saying, the whole idea of them hunting the ghosts and Matthew setting up all of this kind of you know, intrigue and a little bit of the backstory and stuff like that. That was just masterful, man. And the funny thing about it is that was not a very long scene, but it was very powerful. Like you could really dig your teeth into it. And it was so cool seeing all of that. And even when that one guy gets locked up into the cube with the Juggernaut, and you saw Matthew Lillard run up to the cube, and he's banging on the door, on the you know, the walls and stuff. And so, in other words, you could tell that he was going to be a character that not only is going to be important in this role, but he has sympathy. He's a good something. Guy. He's a good guy. You know, he might be doing the wrong things for whatever reason, but you know, he's a good guy. So that was intriguing. So I got to go also with 13 Ghosts.
And also, shouts out to F. Murray Abraham. He is a
Yes.
great character actor, and he, you could just feel like, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, he's
He was
so
worse
good.
than he was in Scarface, man.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like-
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. All right, real quick too in the chat. Let's see. We got AJL in the house. What's going on? Welcome to the chat. We hope you're enjoying the discussion. This is going to be a really fun one. Welcome. Let's see. Gene saying, I just remembered I've seen 13 Ghosts. I can't believe I forgot I saw it. There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. Let's see. What else do we have? Doom was saying, I was thinking of the theme park as the beginning of Haunted Hill. Yeah, I mean, once they get into that, and then of course the backstory of Vatican and stuff like that, I would say all of that is the opening. Yep.
But yeah, that stuff with Jeffrey Rush is really good. I forgot how good
It
he was in
was.
this movie, man.
He was so
Oh,
good, man.
He was having so much fun.
He was a slime ball, but he was one of those fun slime balls, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he really was, man. Like from the beginning all the way to the end, man. Even when he pulled the okey doke on Jean
Yeah.
Grey, and he was like, "You gotta be kidding me! I'm
Yeah.
Stephen Goddamn Price."
And that's one thing that was really good because it shows early on you can't trust this guy.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Can't believe anything that he does. It's
It was
all
like-
an illusion.
There was like 80,000 fake outs in that movie, man. It
Oh,
was
God,
like,
yeah.
it was awesome. It was awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, well, speaking of that, Kill, let's go to the story. Which film do you think gets the point for story?
This is tough. They both have an interesting story. I will
Mhm.
say the story to House on Haunted Hill is a little more rudimentary.
Mhm.
It's an insane asylum that had a massacre, and some rich people want to have a party there, and hijinks ensues.
Mhm.
Whereas 13 Ghosts, it's like you're catching these ghosts and you're building this machine, that's a huge house. You're killing some of the humans to make the ghost, and hijinks ensues. So with that being said, slightly, I'm going to go 13 Ghosts, just because to me, there were slightly more curveballs being thrown. And, it's very rare to see a horror movie where you're catching the ghost and using them for fuel
Mhm.
for a devil machine.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, like, really? Like, okay, cool.
Mhm. All right. Okay, Eric, how about you?
I'm gonna go House on Haunted Hill, and
There we
because for
go.
me, yeah, sometimes the more simple story is the one I really enjoy.
Mhm.
And this is super, super basic. But you know what? The reason why I think I like it is I've always been intrigued, even since I was in high school, like going to a supposed haunted place, just hanging out there. You know
Right.
what I mean? Whether you believe or not, it still would be cool. You know what I mean? And I think that's just more intriguing. I do like the story of 13 Ghosts, but the whole machine thing, I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen it. I'm still confused on what the machine is supposed to do, if it's supposed to control time or open up hell or whatever. So that little bit of confusion is kind of a killer for me. So I am going House on Haunted Hill.
That was good, man. All right, Coriander, how about you?
I'm going to go for the more complex story, I guess. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, come on, man.
13 Ghosts.
Okay, just because it's a more complex story, that's why you're going with it?
No, I mean, I just, that uncle, he's freaking smart.
Yeah.
Not only that, just think of the money he's had to put into this house, to this machine he built, to
Mhm.
capturing these ghosts. I mean, it's a pretty good story, whoever thought of it. They're pretty creative. So yeah.
Mhm. All right. For me, both of these movies I think have good stories, and yeah, one, is a little bit more complicated in a way. I think that's more so kind of like what you just said, Coriander, more so because is the techie stuff that's going on, and Eric said it too. What is this doing? Where are we going with this? Are we going to bring Pinhead into this movie? Because he likes to go into like space and machines and all this type of shit. That being said, I got to give the point to House on Haunted Hill, and the reason I want to give it to House on Haunted Hill is because the characters in that film you know, they're strangers and they're deciding to stay there, obviously to get the money. But you know, as soon as it starts, you know, it's like, okay, how is this going to go? You know, it's basically, you know, when you have movies like that, you're basically seeing who's going to be the last person standing, you know, whether it's a movie like this or The Thing or what have you. So in that sense, I think the story for House on Haunted Hill is inherently more fun. You know what I'm saying? And it had a lot of, and we just said it earlier, it had so many twists to it that you didn't even see necessarily coming. So I think that even though it might be a little bit more simple, it's really fun. And it allows the characters, you know, just the idea of, well, what's going to happen during this overnight in this haunted house, you know? So that's where I'm going to go. All right. So we finally got some points for House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
David saying House on Haunted Hill for sure. Let's see. Steven saying the original House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price is my favorite version. So good. Yes. Kay is going with 13 Ghosts. Okay. All right. And let's get going to our next category, Kill, and that is the characters. Okay. So between either film, who gets the point for the characters in your opinion?
Oh, see, this is tough. I love F. Murray Abraham in 13 Ghosts. Other than him and Matthew Lillard, everybody else is boring in 13 Ghosts to me. I'm gonna go with House on Haunted Hill because Jeffrey Rush, just the interactions between Femke Jensen and Jeffrey Rush were just interesting. They have such a love-hate relationship, and at the end of their relationship, it showed there was some love there.
Right.
Everybody else was kind of just an archetype, you know, for the most part. You know, Taye Diggs is like the everyman, you know, good guy. You know, I love that he was in there. You know, shouts out to representation. That's cool. You know, and you know, you have the one pretender who's not who she says she is.
Ali Larder.
She's a good person. You know, so it was a lot of archetypes, but those two, you know, just seeing the love-hate between them and the many fake outs that they did to each other to make themselves look like they were dead.
Right.
I could watch that all night long. So I got to go with House on Haunted Hill with this one.
All right. Yeah, it was just so much fun. It was like this game of chess throughout the whole freaking movie. Literally through the whole freaking movie.
And they had such great I hate you chemistry.
Yeah.
Like I love you, but I really, really hate you chemistry.
Right.
And it shows.
When you have two actors and characters that can do that effectively, like War of the Roses type of shit, it's a good movie. It really is, and that was the base, that was the foundation, and everything worked off of that. So shout out to Famke Janssen and to Jeffrey Rush. All right, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, I knew I was going to have a problem with this one. It'd be tough because there are characters that I really like in both films, and then there are characters that are just there. You know, again. Like Hill said, F. Murray Abraham, he's such an asshole, but he's really good at it. You know what I mean? As much as I like to poke fun at the stew train, I love you, Steven. I do like Matthew Lillard here. You know what I mean? He's not over the top. He's a likable character.
Right.
I liked the nanny, the babysitter. She was fun, you know, for what she had to do. Everyone else is just there. But Kill hit the nail on the head with Jeffrey Rush. Jeffrey Rush and Famke Jensen, how they play hate each other is so good. I could watch like a TV series with that. It's like you know, it's like an R-rated, you know, Alan Peggy Bundy. You know what I mean? They just hate each other, and the other characters are just kind of there. But what kind of pushes it over the top? You have 2 and 2 each movie. I have a love-hate relationship with Chris Kattan. I enjoyed him in this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't an obnoxious Saturday Night Live character. You know what I mean? He was there to be funny, to be neurotic and scared, to help people when he needed to. And I thought he did a pretty damn good job. So got to go House on Haunted Hill.
Well said, man. I agree about Chris Kattan on that. I feel the same way. Coriander, how about you? Who gets the point?
Well, you know, I didn't mind the characters in either movie. But you know, listening to you guys, you kind of swayed me to give it to House on Haunted Hill. So there you go.
All right. Okay. For me, I have to agree with all of you guys. I think even though and both of these movies have great characters. So I just throw that out there. In 13 Ghosts, I enjoyed those characters, F. Murray, Matthew Lillard, of course. Shout out to Tony Shalhoub, man.
Tony was good. Shannon Elizabeth was
Shannon
good.
Elizabeth was good. I mean, they didn't do a lot with her, but of course you didn't need to because she was a daughter. But Tony had some good stuff in it, and I will say there's moments in that movie that are very emotional, and it's really interesting that a horror movie of this ilk can project that and do it effectively. I mean, we just watched it the other day to prep for this, and I hadn't seen it in a couple of years, and I know the movie, but watching it, it was kind of like, wow, man, they're really hitting you in the feels with this, and that's because of Tony's acting and charisma, and of course how the script is written and the story. But like you guys said, we got our boy from Pirates of the Caribbean, we got Jeffrey Rush, and we got one of the X-Men. I mean, come on, seriously, man. The Phoenix herself. Shout out to Deadpool and Wolverine coming up. I can't wait. But they were great together. They really, really were. And like you said, Tay Diggs was in there. Good to see, like you said, we get some representation that made it all the way to the end.
And he lives. That's right.
And he did it in a decent way.
Yep.
Shout out to Ali Larter. Obviously, Corey loves Ali Larter. Clear from Final Destination and so many other things.
Oh,
she was
come on, dude.
She was great in it. Mrs. Pete Sampras, she was good in it. So it was some great characters. And so I gotta give. So there you go. Hey,
there you go.
You're all right, boy. That's right. The original Sonya Blade. If you know, you know. So I got to give this to House on Haunted Hill. I love the characters in 13 Ghosts, but this has got to go to House on Haunted Hill, no doubt about it. All right, real quick too in the chat. Let's see what these guys are going with. Kay's going with House on Haunted Hill. Steven said Matthew Lillard is enough and all you need. 13 Ghosts. You're all right, man.
Steven's back, everybody.
He is. He's back, man. Val saying characters. Well, if you add in the 13 Ghosts characters, way better.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You didn't really even know anything about the 13 Ghosts. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah, you wanted to know more, which is a good thing. And they had been talking about doing some spinoffs on them, which I'm so surprised they hadn't done that yet. But supposedly there's a series that's in the works.
Cool.
So hopefully that comes to fruition because it's great stuff. It's really good stuff. Danielle said House on Haunted Hill because Corey said so. I don't have an opinion, so I'm snatching the panels. Okay, there we go. We could deal with that. And hey, man, look at this. We got a super chat. We did it. Yeah.
Hey.
Gina coming in, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Gina. And more importantly, she said, give House on Haunted Hill some love because House on Haunted Hill is way behind. Definitely needs love. So we're going to put 2 points to House on Haunted Hill. If you are a fan of House on Haunted Hill, you might want to jump in here and help out. But seriously, Gina, we appreciate you doing that super chat. It really helps us out as a channel, helps to keep us doing all the different stuff that we do week to week, week in out, week out. So, but let's do a clip for Gina. And Kill, sometimes when you want to relive your childhood memories with those you looked up to, you have a certain perception of what it is, and then you see the reality of it is, and sometimes it looks like this.
Hi, I shit in a sock. Later, losers. Wee.
Did he say he shit in a sock?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Hey, look, Gina gave me the opportunity to do this, man, because I was waiting to play this super chat clip.
What are we doing here?
What's this wee stuff? That's your brother.
Hey, look. As soon as he started talking, the look on Kill's face was hilarious. He was just like, "What the hell is going on here?" That was great.
What did we walk into here?
Oh my god! Oh,
As
that
long
was
as they ain't
awesome,
wearing the
man.
sock when you're walking into it. Jeez.
Oh my God.
goodness.
That was great, man.
Every week, man. Every week. I don't know how you do it.
Hey man, you gotta get help somewhere. Actually, shout out to JT on that one, because JT actually put me on to that one. It's like it's so much good stuff out there. I'm telling you. But I love having laughs with you guys, and hopefully for you guys in the audience, you guys are enjoying this stuff too. All right, Gina, seriously though, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate you helping us out. Let's see what else. What else do we have going on in the chat?
Apologies,
Right.
professionals here. Come on.
I know. Steven said, wow. There you go. I know. Val said, what the hell was that? That's right. Oh my God. Superintendent, you might have sent that too, because I know JT did as well. You guys are up on it, man. And thank you guys so much for doing that. It really does help us out. Makes it easier for me to put stuff together because I don't have to search for stuff as much. Superintendent saying, there you go. There you go. All right, let's go to our next category, Kill. The scarier threat. All right, so the scarier threat. So as always, we're putting ourselves in the position of the actual characters. So obviously in both movies, we're locked in these houses and dealing with what's going on. Kill, in your opinion, which movie is the scarier threat?
Okay, so I've been waiting for this question. They both are scary threats, but in House on Haunted Hill, essentially at first you just have like the one ghost of Dr. Banneker kind of going around doing stuff, on a low level, until someone gets thrown through a wall and it unlocks the darkness of the house. So pretty much the darkness has just been chilling like, hey, I'm behind this wall.
Death by corrosion.
If you can give me a crack, I'll come out and might kill some people. Whereas 13 Ghosts, you have a ghost that essentially his name is the Jackal, and he is the sign of Hell's Winter. That's a name and title for your ass. I'm sorry. And Eric, you said a little earlier like that, you don't really know the ghost in 13 Ghosts, or someone said that, and I was just like, yeah, in a way you don't, but in a way you know them way more than the ghost in House on Haunted Hill. The firstborn son, the Jackal, the Hammer, the Juggernaut, the dire mother, and the overgrown kid, and it's just like, and just a lot of knowing them is the look of them. Yeah. They are scary as hell, and I would love to see a spinoff on these ghosts. So I'm gonna have to go 13 Ghosts, easy for me, because once the house just starts opening prison gates, you're in Alcatraz. It's on and popping. It's just like goddamn. So 13 Ghosts.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Yeah, like Kel said, this is the one that I knew. This is the category I knew was going to show up. Excuse me. And this is going to be the toughest one for me. I'm also going to go 13 Ghosts. Now, don't get me wrong. House on Haunted Hill is terrifying. Just the house itself, the claustrophobia. None of the freaking lights work. That's scary enough as it is. And then, you have the spirits there, which 9 times out of 10 you can at least see, before they sneak up on you. And then the darkness, you got to throw someone through a wall to let it out, but it's still there. But, if Jeffrey Rush can jump out of the way, so can I. 13 Ghosts, first off, you need those They Live glasses to be able to see them.
Right.
You can't always depend on those because you're going to get knocked off your head, or you just won't have any. And then, like Kill said, even though I don't know the backstory of him, the Jackal himself is just scary. We've seen what he does to... is it Tony Shalhoub when he claws up his back? That's just one of them. Then you have the guy from the very beginning in the junkyard. You have the one big bodybuilding looking dude with the spikes through his body.
The Hammer, yeah.
He's scary as hell to look at. And then you have the ones that we know nothing about. What the hell is that torso going to do to me? Big baby Huey and his mama. What are they going to do to me?
They're going to serve lunch.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure the most dangerous one is the little boy, because it's always the kid spirits that are the worst. So I'm thinking glasses or not, 13 Ghosts is more terrifying, because also think of it. you're in like a fun house with the mirrors and stuff like that. You don't know how to get the hell out of there. So 13 Ghosts.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
I mean, I have to go with 13 Ghosts too, because, you know, just like Eric said, that house is, you know, a killer in itself. It sliced that lawyer in half, you know, so yeah. And those ghosts, and yeah, way too many to deal with in one little space. And hell no. Nope.
All right. You know, for me, this is tough though, man, because you know, you got one house where there's you know that there's 13, or I should say 12. There's 12 ghosts, and not all of them are super. What's the word I want to use?
Aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive. You know, not all 12 of them are. The kid, granted, he could eventually be the worst or whatever, but he's not going around popping people off like the Juggernaut, the Jackal, and the Hammer, and the Angry Princess. You know, those are the most intense ghosts. But then you have House on Haunted Hill, where you've got Herbert West, who is literally, you know, the doc. You know, he's not Herbert West. I'm just joking with that. Yeah. But you know, he's a spirit that basically killed God knows how many people by locking up that house in the fire. So you don't even know how many ghosts are in House on Haunted Hill. And although the darkness is like the ramp up, there were still a lot of ghosts that were, you know, I mean, ask what's her name? Sonya Blade. I mean, like before she died, she saw about 8 popping off.
Bridget Wilson, I think.
Bridget Wilson, yeah. And it's like, so there was a lot of stuff going on there too, not to mention the fact that at least in the movie at the time that it was happening, you didn't know if you could trust Jeffrey Rush or Famke Janssen, right? So there was a lot of stuff going on in that was the ghosts plus possibly, and we eventually find out it is the humans too. So I don't know, man. I'm stuck on this.
You couldn't trust Embeth Davidtz either. You thought she was there on your side, and then she ended up working for F. Maria Abraham.
That's although, and also to say for her, she kind of helped them out at the end without even knowing it, because when Arthur had to, you know, to make the choice, and he was remembering, you could hear her voiceover about the 13 ghosts and what they represented, and, you know, blah 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 blah. So she pulled a swerve, but she kind of helped them. So you know what, man, I'm gonna give the point to House on Haunted Hill on this, man, because again, we don't even know how many ghosts are hanging out. You know, not including the darkness. The darkness is like when you become the Phoenix, like when Jean Grey levels up to the Phoenix. But even before that, you had a whole bunch of things going on, and you didn't even see Bridget's body. It's like, well, until the end, it's like this is a bunch of blood. It's like, wow, they don't play around. So I'm gonna throw the point there. All right.
I just want to add one other thing. The Jackal not only got Tony Shalhoub, he also like ripped up Shannon Elizabeth too.
That's right.
He was pretty hardcore.
He was hard. What they say, he was like the Charles Manson of killers of the
Matthew Lillard was the ultimate hype man for these.
He was.
He was talking them up big time.
yeah, he was, man, no doubt. Okay, let's go to our next category. Favorite scene, Kill. What's your favorite scene in either of these movies?
Oh man, you know, this is gonna sound like kind of silly, but I loved the opening scene of House on Haunted Hill with Jeffrey Rush, where he's being interviewed and he gets
by Lisa Loeb.
Yes, being interviewed by Lisa Loeb and Spike from Buffy. Shouts out if you know, you know.
Yep.
And the whole elevator gag. And it's just like when I first saw it, it got me too.
Yeah,
I saw this movie in the theater and it got me too. And it's like, oh man, I totally forgot about that whole sequence. You know, just like someone in the chat I think said, or might have been Eric, I forgot about all the amusement park stuff. I just remembered, you know, I remembered the stuff at the mental institution. But then, you know, and on top of it, and you had it in the opening scene, he gets out after he scared these people half to death. He's like, now the real scares begin. It's like, oh, and this is Jeffrey Rush. Let me just say one thing about Jeffrey Rush. To see him in a horror movie, that's next level. He is a thespian. Like, you know, when I heard that he was in this movie, I was just like, oh wow. So that right there elevated it a little bit for me, because at that time, you know, horror movies, you didn't have the best actors. I mean, we weren't really going there to see a Jeffrey Rush. You know, we were going there for the blood, the guts, and so forth, the slasher or whatever. But that scene, because he's so good and he's so slimy as this character, it just sold it for me, and I love it. Even though nobody dies in the scene, like my favorite scene.
All right.
Shout out to that scene. Also with the roller coaster where the track breaks. That freak out. And then I do like when he's arguing with his wife on the phone, and then one of his the mechanics, they walk by and they say, "This guy keeps losing his arm. We'll take it off and make him a screamer." You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So shout out to him.
Absolutely.
My favorite scene, it might seem kind of lame, but I always pick the first thing that pops into my head. It's House on Haunted Hill, and it's the drive to the asylum. I like Sweet Dreams by Marilyn Manson is playing. The cars are slowly driving in the dark down that long road. You just see the headlights. It sets the tone for me. It's perfect 90s. When Marilyn was at the top of his game, you felt that sense of dread. And then once they got up and they looked up at the house, and it just looks scary as hell. And then you have that little bit of score that just, again, sets the tone for this kind of fun, possible haunted house film. So there's really nothing going on, but I just think from them going down the road to getting out to looking to where, like, Chris Katana's, can we get in, can we get out type of thing. It's so good. So House on Haunted Hill.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
So mine also comes from House on Haunted Hill. And it's the scene where you have the blonde chick there with the camera going down to the basement, and she's looking, and then she sees the doctor, doing some operating, and she looks up and he's not there, and she looks down, and and then they look at her, and that's a real cool scene.
Yeah, that was a good one because it was so creepy. Shout out to Jeffrey Combs again, man. Like he never gets enough love. One of the most underrated horror legends ever. But even in a small role like that, he still makes impact. So good call. I'm gonna say, and there's good scenes in both films, but I'm also gonna go with House on Haunted Hill. And Kill, I'll piggyback to yours in a second because that's the one I was going to pick. But I also had another one that was kind of a tie. I know this one sounds crazy, but the scene where Jeffrey Rush gets locked in the saturation chamber, I'll never forget when I first saw that in the theater. And again, a big screen, and of course, these things that they're talking about for House on Haunted Hill, a lot of this shit was real. As far as what they did, which was just some disgusting things they did to other human beings. So there was an intrigue and a curiosity with me throughout the film, in that sense. And when he was locked in that saturation chamber and then showing how he was literally going mad and, he's wrapped up his face and put into the tank and locked and, he's just going through all this shit. I'm like, wow, man, it was some good stuff, man. It was like some really cool, like, tangents that they had. So that's very uncomfortable. Yeah. Because you're like, holy shit, this is what happens to someone that's in this room, so that's the scene that I want to share. But shout out to that roller coaster scene and the opening with Jeffrey Rush, because that was the first thing that came to my mind too, Kill. And he's just a showman. He's such a showman from the beginning all the way to the end. I was connected to him every time he was in a scene, every time he spoke a word. I was really invested, and of course, everything he did with Famke was amazing. Especially that scene where she went up to the bedroom and he's talking, and and she's like, what part of that makes you more attracted? And he's like, everything makes me hot with you, Tulip. And he grabs her hair, and he was just great. He was fantastic. So shout out again.
Or poison, which one tonight? Stuff like that. How are they going to try to kill each other tonight?
Yeah, and she was just so great. She's like, all accidents until proven otherwise. I was like, wow, Jean Grey is not playing around. Okay,
she knew what she was in, and she was having fun with it.
She was. I'll tell you what, too. Not to keep ranting, but they were so good together in this movie. It would have been great to see them again, and also to see both of them in other projects in horror or horror thrillers. And unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of that. So, but they were great. Okay, real quick, Val's going with the ending of 13 Ghosts was such an emotional, evoking scene. Absolutely. It was very, very emotional, a very cool way to end it. No doubt at all. Let's see. Jean saying that she has to get going. Good night. This was fun. We'll watch this tomorrow. Thank you so much, Jean. And I hope you have a good night. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Steven, he says 13 Ghosts. Every scene with Matthew Lillard. For House on Haunted Hill, the opening scene, same as Eric. There you go. There you go. Steven, you're too funny, man. Paul is going with the roller coaster scene. All right. Danielle says, I'm going to go down that Lisa Loeb rabbit hole after this. There you go. She had a couple good stuff. Good songs. Doom Turkey. This was funny too. Yeah, where Spike is jumping up and down the elevator. He's like, oh God, oh God, we're going to die. It was a great scene, man. It really was
fun.
All right, next category. Pick the house. Okay, so Kill. This is what we're gonna do. Between both of these houses, they're technically friggin' mansions. If you had to spend the night in one of them right now, today, okay, because we're kind of taking you out of it a little, taking you out of the story just a little bit. Which house would you rather not spend the night in? That's the one that's going to get the point.
So, okay, are the ghosts in the house, or is it just the architecture of the house?
The ghosts, everything about the movie is there, but you don't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? So you're just going, in other words, you're going to the house on Haunted Hill. You know the history of it. It burned down. A bunch of people died. And you're going to the house of 13 ghosts, and you know that there's some ghosts that their souls have been trapped and yada, yada, yada.
Okay, one last question. I'm so sorry. with the house for 13 ghosts, will the machine open the cages of the ghosts?
I will not give that answer. I guess it's possible.
Oh,
you know.
Well,
some people don't like to go to places that were haunted, even if it's not haunted anymore. So that's kind of where this question is from.
And so pick the one you don't want to go to.
Yeah, the one that scares you the most that you wouldn't want to go to.
Well, the one that scares me the most is the one that's in an abandoned mental institution. And also, like, there's the slight chance, hopefully, that the ghosts that are in the prison in the basement of the 13 ghost house don't open. But the mental institution, Dr. Banneker is running around cutting Bridget Wilson up and whatnot. So, and the darkness is just kind of like, hey, neighbor, like, let me out of the wall, So at least there's a chance, quotey fingers, in 13 Ghosts. So, there you go.
Okay. All right. Eric, how about you?
Oh yeah, I'm not stepping foot in House on Haunted Hill. Screw that. Even without the spirits, and I know, like 20 minutes ago, when we were talking about the story, I've always said I've wanted to check out like these old abandoned, supposedly haunted places. I don't want to check out the House on Haunted Hill, though. You know what I mean? Not just because, take the spirits out of it. It's the claustrophobia. You know what I mean? It's the fact that I could get lost in that cellar or the basement, or whatever, and the lights don't work. You know what I mean? I'm not an electrician, like Ali Larder. I don't know how to put wires together and the right ones together. I'd be screwed. And then when you add the ghost effects, all else fails. I might get lucky and hide behind one of them mirror walls or glass walls with the right incantation on it, and the Juggernaut will leave me alone. So I am not going into the House on Haunted Hill. That is the scariest one.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I wouldn't go into that asylum either. Nope. You bust up that machine and the thing will blow up and you're good. So yeah.
All right. Okay. For me, I think I have to agree with you guys too, because of the fact that it was an asylum, and so we know that there were so many ill people there that were not treated humanely, and the fallout from all of that, the possible fallout from all that, not to mention the house is just creepy anyways. I mean, there's beauty to it for sure, and we saw some of that, like the bedroom and stuff like that, and the place where they were having their drinks and stuff like that. There's beauty to it, but it's also still kind of creepy. It's definitely creepy from the outside. It's more creepy from the outside than the house in 13 Ghosts. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely would pick House on Haunted Hill's house as well. All right.
And like you said, to piggyback on that, whether you believe or you don't believe, I do, I believe in the spirit world, my own personal beliefs. There's the difference between a haunted house and then, a house where violent deaths had happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That also adds to that for me personally. And that's another reason, like, okay, maybe I can hang out where this is supposedly haunted, like by the cornfield behind this house or something like that. But if I know that multiple people were violently taken out, there's that it factor to me that also worsens it.
Right. Absolutely. I agree, man. I absolutely agree. Real quick too, in the chat, we had Val saying, "Can I pick neither?" There you go. I like that. Kay is going with 13 Ghosts. Doom is saying House on Haunted Hill is way worse to stay in. All right. Let's see. Danielle's not going to either. She says, and you can't make me. There you go. May saying definitely not going to the House on Haunted Hill. Okay. All right. Russell saying House on Haunted Hill is one big trap. There you go. All right. Okay, cool. Next category. The scariest scene kill. The scariest scene from either film. Who gets the point?
I got to go with the first time you see the jackal. Because essentially, Shannon Elizabeth has kind of minded her own business, and then he's just kind of right there, like in your face. You're seeing this pale, crazed looking, kind of like inmate with the old school kind of cage that's ripped in the front, and he's doing his Wolverine to her and sliding her across the whole basement, and it's just like, whoa, because you weren't expecting it. And it's a lot of those kind of jump scare, like Matthew Lillard said, they get you right in your face. There's a lot of those scenes. So I'm gonna go with that one just because he talked this one ghost up so much, and his look is so evil and just twisted and scary. So yeah, I got to go with that.
All right. Okay, Eric, how about you?
The one-time kills ahead of me, in the panel, he took mine. That's the same scene I would have picked. But he said it perfectly. You have those quick cuts from the jackal to Shannon screaming, and you don't see her getting attacked in a lot of this sequence. She's just flailing about and screaming. But when you do see the jackal, and he looks scary as hell.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
does.
I love the designs on all these, but he's scary because he's in the straitjacket. He's definitely got some claws under the sleeves, and just seeing him claw like an animal, like a giant cat or a bear, just going at her, and just mixed with her just getting dragged down the aisleway, but we don't see it. I think that just it's a perfect mixture. So going 13 Ghosts.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
So people might think this is lame, but I've always hated elevators, so I think y'all know what scene I'm gonna say.
Hey.
So there you go.
So you're talking about House on Haunted Hill, the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very cool. I can dig that. Very surprising. All right. And real quick too, in the chat, our good buddy Steven saying, "Gotta run, guys. This has been a blast as always, and we'll check out the replay to finish it. Great show, Night Watch Zone. I can't wait for the next one. And Matthew Lillard rules. # Stu lives." There you go. There you go. Hope you have a good night, man.
Good
night.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, man. We appreciate you, and I'll be talking to you. We'll be talking to you soon. Okay, for me, there's a couple of scenes that are up for possibilities here, but one of the first ones that came to me was the same one you guys were saying, Kill. That scene with the jackal, it was just like, wow. And I remember first time I saw it, and I was just like, holy crap. In other words, it lets you know that they weren't playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was like really intense, and like she would have died, man. She would have died, man. And and it's funny because, well, it's not funny, but Arthur wasn't a believer You know what I'm saying? And when he saw that and saw his daughter just getting raked and blood and scratches appearing and stuff like that, it was kind of like, oh crap, is he going to be able to save her? And it was just so well done. Like you said, there were times you could see the jackal doing it, and sometimes you couldn't. I thought that was really effective and it added to the style. So yeah, I got to go with that scene as well. That was a really good scene and well done. All right. Next up, the best character kill out of both movies, or it could be considered favorite character. But what do you think is the best character? Who gets the point?
You know, I'm gonna go for F. Murray Abraham, and my reasoning for that, it was honestly between him or Jeffrey Rush, but I want to give F. Murray some love because he's the opposite of Jeffrey Rush's bad guy, where it's like you like him, you don't really like Cyrus, F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah.
He something's up with him when you first see him. He comes in like kind of the hearse looking like limo. He comes out, he's got a cane. It's like, all right, he's pimping. He's the bad guy. He's using an X-Man. He's using Matthew Lillard for his powers, and he's like, I need you clear-headed. Don't take pills because of your headache. And, and when he touches them, he's like, oh, don't start being nosy.
you don't need to know that stuff.
Yeah, because Matthew Lillard, when he touches you, he can kind of see, your future and things going on. But he fakes his death. Spoilers. Sorry, guys. And then he's using his nephew. He's using his nephew and his poor wife, and he does something despicable to gain access to one of the ghosts. And then he pops back up and you're like, oh, there's his ghost. And then, oh, we all get faked out. Like, oh, he's really alive and has had a sleeper agent the whole time. And he does I can't remember what Saw movie it is, but
Saw 5.
There you go. She got Saw 5.
Hey, look, he pulled a Hoffman, man.
Yep. He pulled a Hoffman, and she's kind of, she fell for him. She was kind of a love interest.
She had it was like Strom in Saw 5 had no clue that our boy was going to do that. Yes.
So I want to say he's the best character because he engineered all of this. He captured all these ghosts. He built a machine where the devil was the architect of it. It's like, geez, dude. So I gotta give you props. You're a piece of shit, and you're such a great, you're such a great actor that you sold it. So yeah, Cyrus.
Cyrus, man. He's like, I'm done with going to drug lords' houses and putting my hands in lemon water and trying to make a deal instead of having Tony mouth off. He's like, I'm doing this a different way.
And shouts out to him also from the TV show Homeland, because he was a piece of shit in Homeland as well. Great character actor.
He was a piece of shit. You can do a deep cut. He was a piece of shit Last Action Hero as well.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Good. All right. Okay, so Eric, who do you think is the best character? Who are you going to give the point to?
First off, I knew who Kill would pick, because how many times in 50 episodes has Kill literally said, I just like an asshole. You know what I mean? So me, on the other hand, as much as I do like an asshole, I'm going with Jeffrey Rush in House on Haunted Hill. And it's because, he's a magician. That's what he is. You know what I mean? Right. He always wants the spotlight on him. And he literally is a magician. He's got the charisma. He's got you in the palm of his hand. You want to know what he's going to do next, but you can't believe everything or anything you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love his again, the love-hate relationship, or the hate-hate relationship with him and Famke Jensen. You know what I mean? And major props to everyone. Thinks that he's basing his look on Vincent Price. He's basing it on John Waters. And if you want to base a look on someone like John Waters, it's bonus points for me if you know who John Waters is. And he's just so much fun. And he's despicable too, but he kind of has, like, he knows the danger. He knows the situation. And what I like about him as well is he doesn't know anybody that shows up. Famke doesn't know anybody that shows up, but he's just, screw it. We're going to do it anyways. You know what I mean? Let's have some fun. And I definitely do every time he's on screen. So gotta go with Jeffrey Rush.
All right, Coriander, how about you?
I mean, I gotta give it to the power guy Dennis. You know,
Okay.
so there you go.
All right. All right. We got a point for Matthew Lillard. Steven would be happy about that. And also, in the chat, Val, thank you so much for putting the link in the chat for our channel memberships. If you'd like to become a channel member, click the link or hit the join button next to the subscribe button. We appreciate the support. Thank you so much, Val, for doing that. Also, if you have not hit the like button, please do. It helps us out, helps to support this stream and this series, and hopefully gets it out to other folks that don't know about this community, like our good friend Frank, who was telling us last week that that's how he found this community, was through Battle World. So that was really cool to hear, because a lot of times live streams are not pushed out as much by YouTube. So we're glad that that did that and got us in touch with him. But for me, best character, there's a lot of great characters, and you guys definitely made some good points. But I have to say, for me, it's easily Jeffrey Rush. And let me tell you why, to echo stuff that we've already said. But the thing about Jeffrey Rush in this film is that he was like a chameleon. He's a magician, like you said, Eric, but he's a chameleon because you just don't know what to believe. Like right in the beginning of the film, that was his MO, because he fooled the reporters. You know what I'm saying? So like all throughout the movie, that's what he was all about. And he was just so good. And it was kind of, you said something that was interesting too, Eric. It was that kind of that feeling of that bridge to the old school films. He kind of represented that in a way, in a modern way too. So I really enjoyed him, everything he did with the characters. And also at the end, man, I mean, he literally became a hero, and that was kind of cool to see too, a little bit of redemption. And I think you said it too earlier, Kill, when he threw Famke Jensen into the room of the darkness, and the look on his face, man. And throughout the whole movie, he said her name with disdain. This was the first time he said it with fear and then with love. He's like, Evelyn,
get up.
Evelyn, in her as well. Give credit to Famke as well, because she was like, Steven, is this you? And he was like, no. And it was like, wow, you knew we were ramping up. This is Phoenix time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that just a credit to him and her. But yeah, as far as best character, I got to give it to Jeffrey Rush.
These are both remakes of William Castle films. If you know your history about William Castle, he was the guy that put buzzers in the seats. You know what I mean? When the scary stuff happens, or he would turn the lights off at the proper moments of the movies. Yes. That's what Jeffrey Rush reminded me of. He reminded me of William Castle getting everyone in on the bit. You know what I mean? And then just standing back and smiling when the chaos and the fun happens.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And with that being said, I think that these are movies, again, shout out to you, Kill, because I hadn't watched these movies in a long time. And it's funny because I've got them both on DVD. I'm looking right over where I know that they are, but I just hadn't seen them in a long time. But like you were saying, Eric, these are remakes to some old school classics, and I think they did a hell of a job. When I think of remakes and favorite remakes or best remakes, these movies never come into my mind. Now they will, because I think they're really well done. And to be quite honest, and they were successful, when they came out in 99 and also 2001. And I wish that we had seen a little bit more of that, just some other films that kind of went down that path as well. But it is what it is. But these are two great films, man. All right. Very cool. Real quick in the chat, we got Jason in the house. What's going on? Say, how much is 13 Ghosts winning by? Sorry, I'm late. Hey, well, we're glad you're here, man. It's a tight race, man. It became a tight race. House on Haunted Hill has made a comeback, bro. So yeah, it's tight. And I'm happy for it, because I think both of these movies, Trickster was saying it's really close. Trickster's paying attention. There you go. I like that. It is. House on Haunted Hill has come back. So yeah, if you want to help out one of these films, this is the time to do it. Next category, as we're almost there, more fun, Kill. More fun. Both of these films, I think, are a lot of fun, a lot of scares, a lot of good moments, characters, and all that type of stuff. But which one do you give the point to for being more fun?
They both are fun, but I'm going to give it to 13 Ghosts. And mainly, Chris Kattan and Matthew Lillard are kind of like the comedy relief of both movies. And I didn't find either of them annoying. But Matthew Lillard to me was just more funnier, and his interactions with everyone, you know, like you don't believe me? Put the glasses on, put them on, man. I'm not the electrician, you know. Oh, you're gonna say he owes you money? Well, I mean, he does owe me money, but you know,
shitload of money.
Yeah. And Chris Kattan was funny. He was money motivated too. He's like, you pay me now.
Pay me now. I want it.
My money now. I want it.
I love that scene, man. It was so funny. His delivery.
But you know, overall, I feel 13 Ghosts was more fun just because you also had Matthew Lillard mainly playing off the ghost. Yeah. Because the ghost had more personality. The only ghost that had personality to me in House on Haunted Hill was the Doctor ghost. You know, and then a giant Grim Reaper shadow, you know, like from the Thing, you know, prequel or something, just floating there, and you know, floating Femke Jensen face. You know, come with us. You know, it's, all right.
The Doctor is in.
Yeah. So I think just the fact that you had the comedy relief of Matthew playing off the personalities of the ghosts, and then interacting with the family, I think 13 Ghosts is more fun.
All right. Okay, Eric, how about you?
If we're talking more fun, I'm going House on Haunted Hill because it's got more of an old school haunted house feeling to me. You know what I mean? And this, I would rather, you know, I would have a lot of fun watching them both in the dark, but I would have a lot of fun like watching House on Haunted Hill in the dark. That one's gonna scare the crap out of you. Again, we've already talked to death about Jeffrey Rush and Famke together. You know what I mean? They are so much fun. Matthew Lillard and Chris Kattan, they're pretty much the same person. You know, I prefer Chris Kattan because, you know, this isn't me picking on Matthew because of the whole Stu stuff. Sometimes he's really good. Sometimes he needs to tone it down a little bit. He's not as over the top as Stu, you know, or like Stu in this one, but there are times I'm just like, relax a little bit. That's why I think I like Chris Kattan because he's more fun being low key. You know what I mean? He's not the Saturday Night Live guy that we know him as. And I got to go House on Haunted Hill.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
So I am going to have to pick 13 Ghosts.
All right. How come?
Because it was more fun.
Come on, man.
No, I just, you know, I enjoyed it better.
Yes.
I actually kind of felt bad for a couple characters when they died. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. For me, you know, I think both again, like I said earlier, both these movies are fun. They have great moments. You guys were mentioning obviously Chris Kattan and Matthew. Both of those actors, I think, hit home runs. They didn't annoy me, and they had good delivery of the jokes, good comedic moments. Chris Kattan had maybe a little bit more downtime as far as not being always comedic, because you could tell he was really afraid. And at one point when the lockdown happened and they were having their drinks, he was basically ready to die. He was basically like, we're not going to get out of here, you guys. He was just waiting to die. So it was cool seeing him in that type of role where he could also kind of relax a little bit. But I got to give the point overall. It's funny because I think 13 Ghosts, as far as a concept and the way that they executed it, was really good and fun. And then you have House on Haunted Hill that also had a really good concept that was executed well. But you have the characters more so in House that elevate it to a fun level. Not to mention, you made a great point, Eric, you know, watching it in the dark. You know, if you sit down on a Friday night, it's dark, you get that bag of popcorn and your favorite drink of choice, and you want to see, you know, a fun horror movie. House on Haunted Hill checks off those boxes just a little bit more. So I'm going to give the point to House on Haunted Hill, just barely, but it's close, man. I could go either way. I really, really could. All right. Real quick, too, in the chat, Val's got the link for Eric's channel, and she's put that up there a few times. So, again, as always, for you guys watching the replay, for you guys watching the replay especially, if you haven't subscribed to Eric's channel, please do help support him. He's a brother, and we've got his link to his channel in the description of every episode of Battle World and so many other videos on this channel. It's absolutely, it's cool, man. It's really, really cool because I'm so glad that he's been able to hang out with us on the regular.
I
So
appreciate it.
yeah, man, absolutely. These guys are going back and forth. Russell's going with 13 Ghosts. Mayanne is going 13 Ghosts for sure. And Russell's saying it's a great battle so far. It really is. Trickster going with 13 Ghosts. Let's see. Man saying it's so true. Both are fun. They really, really are. Doomed saying I never realized how similar Matthew Lillard and Chris Kattan's characters were until now. Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
Me neither. Until see, that's the. Let me just say it. And again, I'm not trying to rant, but that's what's so good about doing this series. You know, because we've got 1,100 and something videos on this channel, and so we've talked about a lot of movies. And me and my brother, we've talked about movies since we were little kids. But when we do something like Battle World, having two movies against each other and finding those little threads, those bridges that connect them, it really makes you look at the movie in a different way. And I'm speaking from my own opinion, it really makes you think about those things. And when Kill first said these two movies, it was like this light bulb went off. It's like, holy shit, that would be a good battle. They are so parallel, in what they're doing. And it's true if you think about both movies, and we've named off so many of those things. So anyways, Doom, I'm glad that you, get a different perspective for these films. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to our next category. We're going to talk about the effects, the makeup, the practical work, all that type of stuff. Kill, who gets the point and why?
I'm gonna have to go to 13 Ghosts here. And I'm not gonna prolong this. As far as the effects in House on Haunted Hill, you have the kind of the Grim Reaper shadow, purple puff of smoke cloud. And you have the doctor. Okay, you just look like a human, kind of, but you're in black and white. I don't know. But on 13 Ghosts, each of these ghosts look different and drastically different, and just the way they look is their personality. I guess the torn prince. He's got a Letterman's jacket on, and he looks like he's probably like a greaser or or raced cars, and has his baseball bat. They all had a look, the jaded princess and all that. So it just looks like to me that more thought went into the effects because you had to have those personalities for each of those ghosts. So 13 ghosts. Yep.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Eric, how about you?
Oh, yeah, 100% easy street. We're going 13 Ghosts. We'll talk more about the darkness when we get to a different category, I'm sure. But the practical effects in 13 Ghosts, it's just amazing. I think it's K&B. I mean, you can correct me for this. But like
Nicotero and company.
We've talked about, the Jackal, whoever, the Juggernaut, what's his name? The Hammer.
The Hammer. Yep.
Those looks, but like Kill mentioned, the guy with the baseball bat, he looked good. Tony Shalhoub's poor wife, you know what I mean? That looked good. The little boy with the arrow, Baby Huey and Mama, you know what I mean? I don't know, I can't, and then like the one girl that's in the rack, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
she looked really good too. Just the creativity,
the pilgrim,
the creativity and just the look of these spirits. They're not all over the top demons like the Jackal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them are just uncomfortable and strange to look at, but they all have little things that are they draw you in, and they're just really cool. And 9 times out of 10, practical is going to beat CGI. So gotta go 13 Ghosts.
All right. Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with those guys. 13 Ghosts, definitely.
All right. For me, I think that it easily has to go to 13 Ghosts. Just like you guys said, just some great work by Greg Nicotero and company, which of course we expect nothing different. It's funny, because we talk about a lot of old school movies and the heyday of a lot of the practical effects wizards like a Rob Bottin, Rick Baker, Stan Winston, and so forth. But again, doing an episode like this, it makes you remember that, we had some great stuff going on even in 2001 with a movie like this. And you've got, Greg Nicotero and those guys working on some fantastic practical makeup and so forth. So I guess what I'm saying is it's good to see that. And obviously, you know, he's still doing his thing on stuff like The Walking Dead and so many other things. So it's just good to see practical still has, you know, a path in films, especially horror movies. So good stuff. But yeah, I'm going to give the point easily to 13 Ghosts. There was some good stuff in House on Haunted Hill, but not to the level of 13 Ghosts. And that's just the way that just the way it fell, you know? So, all right, real quick too, in the chat, we got Jason putting it out there for the merch store. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that. And we got Val putting in the link. Absolutely. If you guys ever want to have some cool merch, you know, summertime, we got tank tops, we got mugs, we got water bottles, we got tons of stuff, man. It's great. And we appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys. Man's going with 13 Ghosts. Russell is going with 13 Ghosts. All right. Paul is going with 13 Ghosts. Okay. Trickster as well. Cool. Very cool. All right. Next category. Let's go to our next category, guys. And of course, you knew we'd get here. The finale. Kill. Who gets the point for the finale and why?
I'm gonna have to go 13 Ghosts. And they both movies had pretty good finales. But 13 Ghosts, you finally see, you know, the seance happening. The ghosts are being used as fuel to fuel the devil machine. You know, you have that point there where you're wondering, you know, is Tony Shalhoub going to fall for it? Is he going to commit suicide and help Cyrus? And then their little kind of one-on-one. And, you know, it just, for me, it wasn't your typical ghost story horror movie ending, at least for that time. You know, just for me, this whole movie was just doing some different things. You know, you're using ghosts to fuel a machine. You're using, you know, some crazy violent ghost actually to fuel this machine. You know, and like Eric said, to one end, you know, they don't really say too much.
It doesn't matter by the time you get to the end.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the sequence there to kind of see this all happening in the heart of the house, it was just a lot, and it was just beautiful to watch. And I love the finales of both, but I got to go 13 Ghosts with this one.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Okay, this one kind of hurts because I haven't seen these movies in a long time. I'm gonna go 13 Ghosts.
Okay.
Pretty much everything Kill says. You know, I love how Cyrus gets his comeuppance. Tony Shalhoub saves the day. They get that final goodbye with wife and mom. You know, that's great. House on Haunted Hill kind of hurt watching. It's been so long, and then it's just, you know, the look of the darkness, you know, the black spirits in Ghost, you know, that took Tony Goldwyn and Willie away. Those were scarier. You know what I mean? Chris Kattan showing up like Casper to save the day. I was kind of eye rolling. Then Tay Diggs saying, "You can't, you know, I'm adopted, you know, so he's safe."
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, fine, I guess. 13 Ghosts all the way. There was no eye rolling for me.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
I will go 13 Ghosts. You know, I just think some parts of the ending of the other movie was kind of, you know, cheesy.
Okay.
Like cheesy. Yeah.
All right. Okay. For me, I think both finales are good. You know, and there's different things going on. You know, and to your point, Eric, about House on Haunted Hill, you know, I actually enjoyed the finale. I mean, there were some weird things going on, you know, and you're right about Chris Kattan pulling a Casper, but it was funny because to parallel it at the end, you know, they show Matthew Lillard's spirit, but the way they did that was better.
It was
you know
done a lot better. Yeah.
It didn't feel like a Casper moment, but it, you know, it is what it is. That's a small thing. But, you know, from the point when Steven pulls the okey doke on Famke Janssen's character, you know, and he opens up the vest and you gotta be kidding. I'm Steven goddamn, you know, from that point all the way out, and then they're getting chased by the darkness. It was pretty cool. Now the effect of the darkness is obviously the downside of it. You know, we're talking 1999. They were trying, they didn't have any idea what they were doing. It is what it is. But just because I was invested in the characters enough, I was wondering, okay, how are they going to get out of this? You know, and obviously Stephen Price and Chris Kattan's character die. They get engulfed by the darkness. So that was, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that ending, effects notwithstanding. But
Right.
13 Ghosts, I have to get the point to 13 Ghosts. And the reason why is because we had kind of been building up to this moment with this friggin' machine, the Eye of Hell, right? Or whatever it's going to do. It's going to call Pinhead, whatever it's going to do. And it was so cool to see it. And then you had all the ghosts there. And then, again, shout out to Tony Shalhoub. He doesn't get enough credit for this role in this movie. It's too bad, because I would have loved to see him in some other stuff like this too. He's a great actor. But he's trying to figure out what should he do. He wants to save his family. He'll do anything to save his family. And then his confrontation with Cyrus and all that. And then, of course, the final part of the movie with the ghost being freed, and of course, the last moments with the wife and the mother, that was really cool. Like, what a way to end a film that had so much crazy shit going on. So that's why I got to give the point to 13 Ghosts. It was a really good finale from A to Z, and the effects didn't get in the way like it did with House on Haunted Hill. So, all right. Val for the finale is going with 13 Ghosts. All right. And that's right, Russell. Monk, good old Monk, Tony Shalhoub. Melissa's going with 13 Ghosts. Kay is going with House on Haunted Hill. All right. Let's see. Mayanne is going with the ending of 13 Ghosts with the machine. Okay. Let's see. Who else do we have here? We've got Trickster going with House on Haunted Hill. All right. So we're back and forth, man.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Russell said, imagine if Pinhead made an appearance in 13 Ghosts. It wouldn't have surprised me. It wouldn't have surprised me at all. All right. Let's go to our next category. And this is our final category. As always, it's the choose category. So just to throw this out there, because this has happened on a couple of episodes, if you would like to send in a super chat and put points to one of these films, this is the last chance to do that, to help these movies out, or whichever movie you would like to. When we get done with this category, we can't add points anymore, just to be fair. And it is, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. If you want to help out a movie, this is the time to do it. Kill, who gets the point and why?
I love both of these movies. This is tough, but based on the antagonist, and when I say the antagonist, I mean the spirits, I have to go 13 Ghosts. As far as the human aspect, I think humans totally is stronger with House on Haunted Hill. But when you add in the antagonist, the personalities of the ghosts, the look of the ghosts add to the whole. And then Matthew Lillard for the comedy, F. Murray Abraham for the villain, and then a good family story. And shouts out to Rod Digger too. She was also some comedy relief too. I keep talking about Matthew Lillard. She was saying some funny stuff, y'all got me in here with these crazy white people. She was putting little stuff in there. It's like,
just remember, I don't do windows.
I couldn't tell if she was ad-libbing some stuff or whatever, but shouts out to her too. With all that being said, I gotta go with 13 Ghosts.
All right, Eric, how about you?
Even though I said that House on Haunted Hill is more fun, I'm actually going to choose 13 Ghosts for the overall picture. You know what I mean? Finales notwithstanding, I really like the family aspect of it. Just the look of the different ghosts are just so creative. And it's just, from beginning to end, it's just a really fun haunted house movie that, this one would be really fun to watch with a big group of people. You know what I mean? I think it's got more rewatchability factor. And even though, like I said, House on Haunted was a little bit more fun, 13 Ghosts kept me interested more. You know what I mean? I wanted to see where it was going to go from here. Even though I've said House on Haunted Hill had the better story, in my opinion, I was still more interested in where we were going to go with the different spirits and stuff of 13 Ghosts. So that's what I'm going with. All
right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
I am going to choose 13 Ghosts because, I liked it better. I haven't seen the other one too many times. Like, Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. All right. For me, it's tough because both of these are so much fun. They really are. Rewatching them for this stream, I really enjoyed this. So again, shout out to you, Kill, for this idea, because this was not only a great battle, a great pairing, I should say, but they were both really, really good films to revisit and now hopefully put into a regular rotation of sorts. And it's tough because, and I think you just said it, Eric, both of these movies have different things that are going on that you can appreciate maybe a little bit more. And I agree. I think with House on Haunted Hill, I think it does have more of that fun aspect. I mean, it's a party. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a party, and it had that vibe. So kudos to them for actually making that a part of it. And of course, with the human characters, I think that there were some higher moments in House on Haunted Hill, but I got to give this point to 13 Ghosts as well because of the intrigue. What are we going to do with all these ghosts? Why do we need them? Who is the 13th ghost? How is that going to work? What is this father going to do to save his family? How is that going to work out? It's just a lot of intrigue with 13 Ghosts, and it's fun. And when you get to the ending, it's just all this buildup, and you want more. Not that I didn't want more from House on Haunted Hill, and it does have a sequel, Return to House on Haunted Hill, which actually isn't bad. It's not bad. So just to put that out there, because sure enough, when I was rewatching this, I was like, man, I got to rewatch the sequel because I haven't watched that in a while.
Yeah,
but it's not at all. But that being said, 13 Ghosts, there's just so many things that you're intrigued by with all these spirits and what that means and that world, so to speak. I kept thinking to myself after I watched it, if that movie had come out within the last 10 years, they definitely would have jumped on the franchise train and made some spinoffs and, kind of like how Insidious did it. You know what I mean? All these different ghosts and what they can do. They still can do that. I hope they do. I hope this series that they're working on really comes to pass. But anyways, my point goes to 13 Ghosts. All right. Okay. So guys, let's take just a moment for a recap as I count up these points, and then we're going to find out who gets the victory tonight. Kill, we'll start with you for the recap. Tell me what you think about what we did tonight here.
Well, it was so great to go back to, some of these one-offs or remakes from the late 90s, early 2000s that a lot of people, including ourselves, forgot about. It's a few of these gems out there that, hopefully, in the coming weeks or months, we'll try to, maybe kind of chew off a little bit more of this period of time. But guys, seriously, if you haven't seen these movies in a while and you want a nice fun ghost movie that's pre-Conjuring, because there were ghost movies before The Conjuring.
No.
Right.
Definitely give these a shot. You'll see some actors and actresses that you're like, hey, Taye Diggs is in a horror movie. Jeffrey Rush is in a horror movie. Monk is in a horror movie. Like, what are we doing here? And this was a bunch of fun. So yeah, what you got, Eric?
I was very excited for this one when you picked it, because if anyone knows me on this channel or off of it, I am a champion of remakes. You know what I mean? And a lot of people kind of, look down their nose at remakes unless it's like The Thing or The Fly or The Blob. You know what I mean? I'm glad you picked these because Dark Castle, when they first came out, they had these two films. They had the remake of House of Wax, which I still think is really good.
Yeah,
Ghost Ship is a lot of fun, and I remember liking Gothica. It's been a while, but they were churning out some good horror movies for a while. And these two right here, other than these are overlooked remakes, in my opinion, or people might not realize that they are. And even if they were standalones and not remakes, they're still fun, entertaining haunted house movies in their own right. Likable characters overall. Lots of fun in their own ways. The creativity with K&B and the 13 Ghosts, the claustrophobia, and it's like how the actual haunted house of House on Haunted Hill. They have different feels, but you still have that fun Halloween time. Invite friends over for a Halloween party. Put this on, and I'm sure by the end of the night, a lot of them are going to be sitting down on that couch and just sitting there and watching. So Good choice, Kill.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. How about you, Coriander? Any final thoughts you want to throw out there real quick?
No, go ahead, man.
All right. So this was really, really interesting how this all panned out. We went back and forth for a little while looking at how these points add up and so forth, but we definitely have a definitive winner. So we've got a score of 22 points to 36, and the winner is
Damn.
13 Ghosts.
Wow.
13 Ghosts at the end.
I thought it was going to be closer.
Well, it
I did
was
too.
until we got to the last couple of categories. Threw it over to 13 Ghosts, man. And
When Steven sees this, he's going to do a backflip.
he is, man. He is. No doubt about it. But yeah, 13 Ghosts wins. So that was a lot of fun, guys. This was really cool checking this out. And like you said earlier, Kill, to you guys in the chat, if you haven't watched these in a while, or if you've never seen them, you should definitely check them out. And by the way, I mean, check out these movies anyways when we do Battle World. That way you can, know what's going on with them, have a good memory of the events, and be able to, pick out these categories a little bit more easily. Doom made a good point too. He said the Haunted Hill, House on Haunted Hill is more impressive. Its ghosts can hack your party guest list. That's a good point.
That is true.
That is a good point, man. They were able to actually work through electricity and stuff. So they weren't playing around. Val saying this was a great battle.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Absolutely. And she's telling people, reminding them, leave a comment. And absolutely, guys, when we do these streams, we don't get to everyone, but we would appreciate if you do leave a comment. Let us know what you think, maybe letting us know how you would give points on some of these categories and what you also thought of the show. And maybe even if you have any suggestions, that would be the place to do it, because I can take time to really read through them and take the time to process it. So anyways, we're going to head out here. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much. And again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. We appreciate it. And we will catch you guys next time. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.
Okay.